So I know this video might end up being a little bit controversial, but here are some reasons why you probably can't trust the majority of MTG YouTubers, possibly even including myself. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to go through, I guess, the top 5 reasons why I don't think you can trust most MTG YouTubers, at least maybe not as much as you do. And I'm basing this on what I've seen lots of YouTubers do, but also what I've seen people post about YouTubers on Reddit and Facebook, and the kind of things that they've said and problems that they have encountered. So we're going to break down these one at a time. I'm going to go through the reasons why you can't trust them, and then I might have to say something in defense of YouTubers, I guess. And I'll also let you know what I think makes a good YouTube channel for Magic, and also some of my favorite Magic content creators. So, first of all, first reason why you probably can't trust MTG YouTubers is because there's like literally zero barrier to entry. All you need is a camera and to upload a video to YouTube, connection to the internet. That's all you need, and you can become a Magic YouTuber yourself, or anybody can. And because anybody can do it, you don't need to have any qualifications or experience, as in you don't even need to know anything about the game or be any good at it. So you can make pretty big mistakes, from telling people how things interact incorrectly, or just generally the rules being wrong, or giving them some unrealistic values for different resources in the games, and just bad advice in general because they don't know any better. Now, some people have been doing it for a long time, so you're going to expect that they know more. But if somebody just starts out, they might not know really anything about the game. So, how do you know if you can trust their opinion on things if they're that new? The second reason why you can't trust them is because they're here, we're here, mostly for views. So you'll find some clickbaity thumbnails and titles that might say things like, "This is the best deck ever," and they really overhype their own content. And it's partly the nature of YouTube. You kind of have to do it. You have to overhype your own content because everyone else is doing that about their own content too. And if you're the only person who isn't doing it, people probably won't be clicking on your video very much at all. So if this video was called "Some Reasons Why You Might Not Be Able to Trust YouTubers as Much, or maybe not listen to everything they say," it doesn't sound anywhere near as enticing as the actual title of this video. I think Mr. Beast said something along the lines of, "You can't make a video saying a banana is a good food to eat. You have to say a banana is the best food in the world ever. Otherwise, people are never going to click on it." So it's kind of the nature of YouTube, but some people maybe take it a little bit too far. The third reason is that you can do a lot with editing. So taking out embarrassing misplays or just any losses at all, you can make a deck look like it's got a 100% win rate pretty easily. And this can cause you, the viewer, to craft an expensive deck that you think is unbeatable and find out that it isn't actually anywhere near as good as you thought it was. And some people even think that YouTubers and streamers have a different shuffler or matchmaking algorithm because the game seems to go so much more smoothly for them, which is probably 90% or more of the time just down to their editing. So it can give a really different impression of the game when you're playing it compared to watching a YouTuber play it. And it's not because they have a different shuffler. The fourth reason is that some YouTubers, not all of them, some of them, can be really negative about the game or spread bad advice, maybe intentionally. Some people claim to have maybe evidence that the game is rigged against them, specifically for some reason, and it's actually nothing more than they lost a few games in a row, and that's their proof that the game is rigged. Some people might exploit known bugs and tell other people to use them too, which has happened before, I've seen it. And that causes some of their viewers to receive bans. I know some people have posted they got banned because they followed the advice of some YouTuber who was doing something just for views and specifically told other people to do it too. And the player had no idea what the consequences would be. They just trusted the YouTuber and just did what they said, and they didn't think anything bad would happen. But yeah, sometimes bad things happen as a consequence following bad advice like that people put out just for the views. These kind of YouTubers can drag you down and spread more negativity, which not only takes away from your enjoyment of the game, which I think is really important, but it can also just be bad for your mental health in general, just to see that kind of negative stuff about a game that I presume you love, or at least like playing a little bit. And the fifth reason is that some YouTubers can be very overly expressive in a way that's admittedly very entertaining at times, but can also come across as quite fake and over the top. Now, if you look back at the videos from some YouTubers when they first started, maybe a few years ago, you might find they have a very different personality. Sometimes that's fake and sometimes it isn't. And energy is good. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But if they're constantly shouting or just putting lots of fake energy into their content, it can come across as really inauthentic and untrustworthy at times. But like I said, some people are here just for the entertainment. And for some people, that's just the kind of content they want, to be really like hyped up and energetic. And it's also true that some YouTubers will naturally develop their skills over time. So they might genuinely change the way they talk to camera because they're much more used to it now, rather than them actually putting on a fake character now. Maybe they just got better than they were a couple of years ago. I know when I started a year and a half ago, I was much worse at talking to a camera in a room by myself than I am right now, but there's still a lot of way I could improve, to be honest. So that's the five main reasons why you probably don't want to trust most Magic YouTubers. Now, I have to say something in defense of them because I'm one of them as well. There's something that CGB said, and you've probably heard of him before, that when he includes too many losses in a gameplay video that he makes, people switch off more. And you get enough analytics on YouTube to see over time, with enough viewers and enough videos, you can see exactly what causes people to switch off. And if he knows that putting too many losses or too many losses near the beginning of his videos cause people to switch off, then he might not want to include those losses. And so it's just a natural way of making that video more engaging, which might give off the impression that he wins a lot more than he does, possibly. And some people, some content creators are looking for views, but it's because their channel might not just be a hobby that they do for fun. It might be a side business or it might be their main income and they need to pay the bills. And the more views they get, the better for them because they get paid per view. So the more they can get you clicking on their video, the more they can get you to stay for longer, the more successful their business is. So you can't really hold it against them. They're just trying to make a living. And making content can take lots of time, from hours of recording or editing. Maybe they edit themselves, or maybe they have to pay someone else to do it. Either way, there's a lot of time or money being put into it. So I think it's only fair that they should be able to earn some money from it. And sometimes they have to do things a certain way just to encourage that a little bit more. So we can't hold these things against them quite so much. Now, on the flip side of why you might not be able to trust people, what is it that makes a good Magic YouTube channel? I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. But I've got a few things that I think make a good channel. And these are the things that will make me keep watching someone. So, first of all, I think they should be knowledgeable. So, I want to feel like I'm learning something when I watch a video, not just that it's fun and crazy, but actually I learn an interaction. I learn something else about the rules that I didn't know before. So if the YouTuber actually knows what they're talking about and explains it in a way that is useful for me, then that's a good thing. And I try to make sure that my content is really accessible to new players because I know not everything is. So hopefully, if you've seen some of my other videos, maybe you've learned a few things here and there. I think they should also be entertaining. There should be some kind of sense of humor, or it should be fun in some way. Otherwise, the video can be really flat and dull and boring and drag on. So if there's something in there that can at least make you smile, then that's a good thing. The third thing I think they should have is some positive energy. Now, I don't mean fake over the top energy, but I think you should feel happier from watching the video. Either they just seem to enjoy the game, or they're okay when they lose and they don't blame the game and say life's terrible because they lost the game. If they bring some positive energy, then you're going to feel happier after watching the video or while watching the video. And I think that's just generally a good impact on your life. I think they should also be honest. So if they're playing a deck that's jank, it's fun, but it's not consistent, it doesn't have a very high win rate, I think they should tell you. Sometimes they will include stats that show you directly from their Untapped or MTGA Assistant app that will show exactly what the win rate is. But quite often, they might only play a deck 5 or 10 times for a video, and so you don't really get a huge, great idea. There's not a very good sample size on how successful that deck actually is. But if they have a sense that it's jank and it doesn't necessarily work very well, then I think they should tell you. And if they've made a mistake, they should own up to it. It's so easy to cover it up in editing, but I think if you've made a mistake, let it go out there. It's actually kind of fun to see people make mistakes and know that it's okay. So if you make mistakes, you're not the only one. YouTubers do it too. And the last thing is I think they should be authentic, as in they should have an authentic personality. They're a real person that you can actually get to know, at least in some way, through their videos, not just a fake character or someone with no personality at all. It's great when you see some people mention, I don't know, their families or their other work or what's going on in their life, if they're moving from one studio to another, all these little details, or if they're on holiday or vacation, if you're American. So all these little details just add up to build up a picture of that person's personality. And I think that makes them much more interesting to watch. So, who are some of my favorite Magic YouTubers that fit this kind of mold, these kind of good attributes? Well, first of all, I really like CGB, Covert Go Blue. If you haven't seen him, watch him. Not everyone likes him, but he's pretty direct. And he does have a bit of a personality that he's putting on, a character that he's putting on for his videos. But he seems like a really nice guy, and he does teach quite a lot in the way that things work. So I've learned a lot from watching his videos, and I find them very entertaining, especially when he's playing against mono red. The second one I like is Jim Davis. He's really good with standard videos, but also other formats if you're interested in historic and timeless and all those other things. I think he does draft as well. Quite often best of three, and he's very good at explaining what he's doing and the things he's looking out for and why he chooses one play over another. So you can learn a lot from Jim Davis. He's a really good player. We've also got Nikolai Bolas, who I think is really great, especially for draft and sealed. He does all limited formats. He's won the Arena Open, the $2,000 prize a few times that I've seen recently. So he's good. He knows what he's doing, and he's very good at explaining why he picks cards in draft. So if you want to get better at draft or better at deck building in sealed, then Nikolai Bolas is really good at that. And also he's pretty entertaining when he just bursts out into song randomly. So definitely a channel I recommend that you check out. The next one is Swayze. Now, Swayze might be the first person to say that he's not the best player in the world. I think he's really good, but he does sometimes make silly mistakes, which I think we all do. But he owns up to them, which is, makes it fair enough. He owns up to his mistakes. And his deck building is just amazing. There's always an extra color that I would not include, or some cards that I don't think are playable. And yet somehow he makes it work. It's entertaining. He gets the mythic. He's really good. So I recommend watching Swayze if you like interesting deck building, off meta kind of deck building for standard. The next one is Legend LVD. Really, really good at just calmly explaining what he's doing and explaining what other things you should look out for in your games. Mostly standard, but I think he covers Explorer and probably some other formats as well. But a really good channel to watch if you want to learn more about the rules and maybe how to build a deck and how to strategize, knowing what to do on your turn. And I was going to only include 5. Those were the 5 I had. I'm going to include a bonus number 6, which is MTG Malone. Now, I wasn't going to include Malone, but I do watch his videos sometimes, and he is very over the top with his energy, but it's growing on me. So I definitely recommend checking out his videos for the entertainment value, and he's also pretty good at the game as well, and plays, I guess, slightly more meta-focused decks. He doesn't avoid maybe the obvious ones, and I think it might be fair to say that he might overhype decks slightly. I don't know, let me know what you think. That might be controversial. He is really good. I'm not saying anything bad about him. So those 6 YouTubers are really good. There are lots of others. I just can't mention everybody. So check those out if you haven't seen them before. I'll put some links in the description so you can check out their channels, because it's nice just to share the love, and refer people around to other content that they might enjoy. So that's all I have to say about magic YouTubers, why you can't trust them sometimes, and maybe the things that they do that are better that you should look out for. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because you know what? It does help out quite a lot, and we really do appreciate it. And thanks for watching this video to the end as well, and I'll see you in the next one.